Hi everyone, and welcome to week 6. We'll talk about emergent AAC strategies, which is an exciting topic. I'll be here with your overview for what we're going to cover this week, what is due, and I will review a familiar but important concept with you all. The first thing I want to draw your attention to is that your core communication board assignment is due Tuesday. So again, that's up here on the left side in the course assignments tab. Part 1, where you design, use a board, and write a 2-page reflection. That is due February 25th. Alright, so hopefully you all have already started making good progress on that. Here's what you're doing this week for Module 6. You'll be reading Chapter 9 out of your textbook, and then after you do that, you will open up the first folder, which has your recorded lecture and associated videos, and the Maya and Jill comparison assignment. So opening up this folder, there's your lecture video, and there's your lecture PowerPoint. Make sure you watch the video and not just do the PowerPoint, because there are videos embedded within the lecture video that you'll need to make sure you see. After that, you'll come down here. Here's the assignment that you'll need to download and open. It'll just ask you some questions about these early communicators, and then you will submit it right here on this red link. There are some videos that'll be helpful for you. The next thing you'll be doing is the beginning communicator videos and the beginning communicator user profile activity, which are down here in this next folder. There are 5 short videos for you to watch, short like 1 minute, so it shouldn't be a problem. Open up the assignment here in this document. It'll essentially be a matrix where you're providing information about these communicators, and then once you've filled out the matrix, you will submit it again here in the red submission link. The last thing you're going to do is take a look at this Priory Wood website and tell us your favorite video. So down here is the link to the Priory Woods website. This website is a great tool, especially if you have early AAC users, perhaps users that use a switch, because it's a series of short videos. You just follow the link. They're short, exciting things. I saw one about like Star Wars, superheroes, just things that kids might find engaging. And it provides them an opportunity to use a switch to interact with the video. That helps teach communication. It helps teach the cause and effect process of, hey, when I hit this switch, it makes something happen. So that's an important concept for emerging communicators. So again, you'll take a look at some of those videos, then you'll click on this red submission link, and you'll just write the name of your favorite video, either in here as a text submission or down here in a comment. All right, the last thing I want to cover before I let you guys get started is a quick review of non-symbolic and symbolic communication. So I'll open up the first slide from our PowerPoint. The non-symbolic communication, that includes, the gestures, vocalizations, not words, but, grunting or whining, stuff like that, crying. Eye gaze, looking at something. I'm not talking about eye gaze AAC where you stare down a computer screen and it activates an item. No, this is just really like, knowing what a kid wants by checking out to see what they're looking at. And of course, body language, whether they're, like recoiling back or throwing up their hands in protest. These are all non-symbolic modes of communication. The opposite, symbolic communication, it's not just talking about symbols on a core board or on an AAC device. Remember that symbolic communication is anything that we interpret or that, multiple people assign meaning to. So words, that's a form of symbolic communication. Sign language, it's not just about AAC and the actual symbols on the screen. But the reason why AAC is important is because that's a bridge for people that can't use words or that choose not to use sign language or can't use sign language. That's a bridge for them to access symbolic language. So why is it important to transition from non-symbolic to symbolic communication? That's something that you'll be talking about quite a bit in this lecture, how and why to make that transition. But essentially symbolic communicators have more agency and more control over their environment. If I were a non-symbolic communicator trying to, reach out for my favorite marker, I could, reach for it. Maybe it's like on a high shelf. And if I throw up my hands and look at it, maybe somebody will be there to point out and, realize, hey, this is what you want, and they'll hand it to me. But if my favorite marker is in a different room, or if it's out of sight, or if I don't know where it is, how is a non-symbolic communicator going to express that that's what they want? There's nothing to reach towards, there's nothing to gesture towards. So a non-symbolic communicator would be without their favorite marker. For markers, that may seem like a minor thing, but if it's food or if it's water, if the kid's really thirsty and can't express that they need something to drink, that would be difficult. Once you transition into symbolic communication, you can get a core board or a device or, learn a word that lets you say like, hey, I need my favorite marker. And if you point to that or if you say that word, marker, maybe somebody will hand it to you. Again, think about, maybe you've got a student that really loves milk and just hates juice. If they were served juice one day and didn't have symbolic communication, they might be able to turn down the milk, but there's really no way for them to express that they want juice unless they're able to like reach out and point towards juice. But if juice is programmed onto one of their devices, or if they can hand you a picture symbol saying like juice, that's essentially how they would communicate. So that's why it's important to transition non-symbolic communicators over to symbolic communication. And that's going to be a huge focus. Again, the how and the why for this week. So it's an exciting lecture, and I wish you the best of luck. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Have a good one.